Yes, did you notice in human nature is the aspirate sound? Abraham becomes Abraham when he has an encounter with God. Because God breathes true life into us. Spiritual life eternal, you see. And human is not just man, but he's heavenly man. Heavenly born, breathed into, aspirate sound. The mighty wind, if you like. Something of the spirit. This word honour has lost the aspirate sound, isn't it? It's in the ancient English spelling. It's not just O-N. It's O-N, H-O-N, honour. Honour? We don't say honour, we say honour. Yes, because you've neglected, haven't you, the presence of God, the awareness of the presence of God. It's slipped out of your speech, your language. Oh, what an appalling shame, and what an appalling cost. To lose awareness of the presence of God is living death. You think of the word high. It's something of heaven again, isn't it? The head. Something about the noblest part of, the physical world, the brain, the control system. More than that, of course, is the intuition. It's the reception of God. His thoughts coming into your being. How's this done? How can this be? Says it must have the origination of God. How? The word how. Out, out, ow, ow, ow. It's out of heaven, isn't it? Understanding, true understanding, you see. Life eternal is to know God. It's to understand, to know, to realize, to conceptualize, to have received from God it's ours. Oh, you. Awareness of Him is life eternal. So we sing. We sing praises and thanks to God. We glorify God, which keeps us aware of, in touch with, conscious of, connected to, abiding in and with. How lovely. The word hope too. Oh, startling. Of course, is a circle. It's eternal. Something perfect and symmetrical about it too. And yet bounded. Isn't that strange? Hope at the beginning, the aspirate sound, the H, hope. Peace. There's tremendous peace in hope, isn't there? Can you have peace with no hope? I don't think so. Have you got that? God. Awareness of God. The very vantage visible, vortex, vantage, have. And what is home? Oh, again. Home, more, many, much. Mum. Of heaven, you see, home. Heat. Oh, heat's an amazing one. Aspirate sound, something to do with life. E. Not just E, double E. E. Double portion of God. From heaven. Total. Tide. Time training. Teeth. Eating. Tender. Taught. True. Heat. And so I've said before, you need a spelling that focuses on these sounds. For they are our communication with God. And the words just channel into our mind, just stream downloaded according to who we are, according to our needs. And we speak out the glory of God, ideally, in response. And that's what worship is. So a time of worship is a time of drawing near with God. And your whole life is revived, renewed, energized, powered by the glory of God. Love you, Heavenly Dad. Thank you, Dad. Oh yes, did you get that with O? I mean, O is circle, sun, disk in the sky. Egypt, sun god. It's where the Hebrew God comes from. Hebrew, It's written into the name of the people. They were God's chosen people. Aspirate sound at the beginning of the name. And the symbol they used? Well, Yahweh, a disc sitting between the wings. But that's Egyptian. It's written on the tombs and so on. I mean, the writing, it's a symbol of the sun god. Yeah, that's right. The Hebrew god is the sun god. You know, somewhere in there's a psalm, isn't there, to the sun. And it's not S-O-N, it's S-U-N in our translation. Ooh, that's strange. The disc has something of a perfection about it. It's also the concept of what God starts with, zero. Something infinitely continuous about it, and yet we see it as empty, as you can't do anything with it. But God can. And it's the light of the sun that streams life from the heavens down onto us. life. And come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. Pronoun, whether it's him or whether it's her, it makes no difference. It's still the aspirate sound. It's the presence of God. You know, an Eastern custom, the way they greet each other, they don't shake hands. Thank goodness, you probably catch every disease under the sun if you start doing that as your culture in a warm climate. They simply put their hands together and acknowledge the divinity in you. They bow. Is it pronoun? I'm not sure what they call it. But anyway, that's the way they greet. They don't shake hands. They sort of nod to each other, acknowledging the presence of God in you. What a wonderful way of attempting peace, to have that as your custom. Be much better than shaking hands, wouldn't it? Shaking hands was to indicate that your sword hand was not lethally armed at present to kill. You're a come in peace. That was quite interesting, wasn't it? The tie, the necktie, well, that was to show you were a slave. You're property of the state. Which is why, you know, the management always wore a tie, so they were under authority. Why is the sun a symbol of life? Because in physical terms, life doesn't survive without it. You know, if you cover the plant and it's in darkness, it dies. We need sunlight. And it's as well to remember the body needs sunlight too, streaming from the heavens. Not too much, of course. You can always overdo it. So Constantine was on track. You see, he was not just the Emperor, Solar Invictus. He wanted to make sure he was head of the Mithric cult as well, not just the Christian one. And of course, the steppe people of Central Asia, I mean, gosh, it can get cold in winter. They shift from worshipping God's solution, sunlight to keep us warm, to the worship of fire. And that's what's in the Persian Zoroaster understanding of things. An eternal fire. The sun goes out in winter and at night, but the fire, that can be kept burning. So you do. And you survive. So we have two peoples on the planet. The sun worshippers, exampled or typified, if you like, by the Druids, and what comes to be Christianity in the end, by an astonishing interaction with worshippers of fire, of frightening people, the hordes of Central Asia that stream across Europe. Quite savagely. It is force confronting love, bad confronting good. Sort of mixed up with the notion of male confronting female. But the fierceness of the fire is as nothing compared to the being of God. Just infinite energy and power by comparison. And the warmth of the fire, nothing compared to the light of the world. Oh, I broke the recording here, so go on to the next part, okay? Thank you, Heavenly Dad. Do you notice so with worship of the sun? I mean, you come all the way to New Zealand and you find the native Maori people named for the sun, Ra, sun god Ra. Same as Egypt. Wow. What don't we know about early civilizations and their globality? You know, Chinese junks. I don't know about plural, but certainly one, ancient one, found sunken somewhere off New Zealand. Egyptian symbols in some of the clearly moderated volcanic vents, moderated by man, in New Zealand. More pyramid volcano mountains than you've ever dreamt of. Now and again I use a picture of one that's on the way to Raglan, halfway between Hamilton and Raglan. You just look at it and you think, gosh, that reminds me of a pyramid. You think of stone, don't you? Granite and so on. You think of it as dead, don't you? It's because we don't have the concept of lifetrons, that every atom's made up of life. And a stone, a massive stone, has an awful lot of life in it, therefore. I mean, I don't know what this means. Some of these megaliths around the world, they hum. They cause the compass to go haywire when you go near them. They seem to vary in electromagnetism. In fact, they act more like a battery than a stone. You have enough stone together, and what have you got? Well, I'll tell you from the Maori point of view, you don't sit on top of a mountain. That's disrespectful to the mountain. It has a being in its own right. And there are consequences if you don't respect such being. The mighty Waikato River, which is not terribly large, of course, it just drains New Zealand, but drains a chunk of the Central Plateau. Taniwha at every bend. Taniwha is, well, it could have been a chief, but it could also have been a major spiritual being that guards the river at every bend. Yeah. As my mum used to say, there's more things in heaven and earth than you or I have I've ever dreamed. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.